Hi and welcome back to Serenity Cove Crafts. My name is Linda and it's been, probably about 4 to 6 weeks since I've uploaded any tutorial, and I apologize for that. Life has been crazy, but I am back. My creative juices are flowing, and look what we're going to make today. This cute little lighthouse gnome. See that? Now yours is going to turn out better than this. And I was just kind of working out all the details. It's my little prototype. This one I did in blue and beige with yellow. And then I just put a little gray pom-pom at the top. But the one I'm making today will be brighter. It will be a red and white lighthouse and body. And the yellow, whatever kind of yellow you have for the light here. I'm just using some leftover yellow Bernat Premium, and that's what I'm working with here, Bernat Premium. My machine really likes this, so we're not going to tempt fate. We're going to go ahead with what it likes. And we'll need a little bit of black just to do the lines here in the lighthouse where the yellow light part is. Everything is going to be made on a 22-pin machine, either your Sentro, Addi, and personally for myself, I have rotator cuff tears in both of my shoulders. So I use, this is cordless screwdriver. It's a very low voltage, so it's not going to damage my machine, and it will crank for me. So I will be doing this off camera for you. Now, without further ado, we're going to get started. Most of the pieces I'm going to be doing off camera, but I just wanted to show you pretty much how I change colors. Okay, so I'm just starting off with some red here. Okay, so I'm just going to cast on. Let me try to move the arm over here a bit. There we go. Just casting on the way I normally would. In front of the first pin, behind the second, in front of the third, behind the fourth, and so on, all the way around. Now I also do have tutorials that show you how to cast on, how to change colors, how to cast off, how to double your work, and all that. So you can just go in under my videos and you'll find my list of tutorials. Okay. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to set my counter back to 0, and don't mind me, I find it's easier for me to crank on an angle. Okay, so I'm going to go with 15 rows. Now this is the body we're doing, so I'm going to be doing 15 rows in the red. The first couple rows are a little tight. All right, just give this a little tug. There we go. $14, and we're coming around here. And I'm just stopping before I get back to this first pin. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And now I'm going to grab the white yarn. My white is going to be the next part. And when I change colors, I'm going to show you here. Okay, on the last pin, I just kind of go ahead and put my red yarn behind, slide the white yarn through, close the little door, and now at this point, you see they're both in the same spot. They're both at the same place. If you end up missing and putting one over from the other, you're going to have a big hole. So you should be able to hold them together like that. Okay? And I like to tie mine off sooner rather than later. Okay. Now you can go ahead and put your tails in here. I like to live dangerously and cut them right away. Okay, so at this point, we do 15 of the red. We're going to do 30 of the white, and I'll be doing this off camera. And then we'll change back to the red, and we'll do 15 of the red and cast off. So I'll be back when I'm ready to cast off. All right, I'm back, and I'm on my total of my 60th row. So I'm just going to cast off. Okay, cut the yarn. I like to thread my needle at this point. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and move your needle to the middle. If it's easier for you, go ahead and just drop that. Get it out of your way. So what we're going to do is do one full crank around. That just releases the stitches. All right. And before I get to where I started, usually 1 or 2 needles from the beginning, I just stop. Okay, and let's see here, I'm kind of tipping this. I start picking them off one at a time, and this is how you cast off. Sorry, I'm just trying to pick this up here. Normally I do this standing up, but if I do stand up, I'm going to be hitting this camera, so just bear with me while I do it this way. And the red is difficult to see against the red carriage of the Addi. Okay. Right. Almost there. And there we are. Just move the machine out of the way. All right. So let's go ahead and give this a nice stretch. Stretch it in all directions. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and close both ends. So that's cinching. And I just wanted to reiterate, okay, 15 red, 30 white, and 15 red. Right? So to cinch them, or to tie them up, to close the ends rather, oh, you can tell I've been off recording for a while. I don't remember how to talk. Okay. So I like closing it off by just picking up, you see these stitches here at the end. I'm just picking them all off here, picking them up rather. Okay, so I'm back around to where I began. Go ahead, pull this through. Okay, so now we're cinching. Go ahead, pull that closed. Just going to knot it. In this case, I'm just going to tie it. Sorry, my yarn's too long. Okay, I'll tie it. Just tie it twice. And I also have a fingernail here that's catching on the yarn. You'll see me, I'm not a manicured woman, and I never have a full set of nails. I'm a crafter, so I'm always losing fingernails, or they're covered in paint. I do art journaling as well, and needle felting. I've been teaching myself needle felting lately. So that's what I've been keeping busy with, right? Now we'll go ahead and do this side. I'm just picking up the stitches at the top again. And then you're also going to need some something to weigh down the bottom of your gnome. I have these glass marbles. I believe they're vase fillers. I don't know, I picked that up at a thrift store. Put some at the bottom just to hold them down. And I didn't put enough. So the one we're going to make, we're going to put more in. Now you can use something like this. You could fill a Ziploc baggie with rice, beans, stones, whatever you'd like, whatever you can find. I'm a big believer in using what you have around. You know, don't go out and buy something special. Work with what you have. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and close this. Just going to tie, this is going to be the inside. I'm just going to tie it the once. Okay. We'll be joining this end to this end. So what we're going to do is double our work now. So you fold this end inside itself. You just want to make sure that you're lining up your reds, because you can really see, because it's white, you can really see the red. Okay. Go ahead and line that up as best you can. Okay, so I'm going in through the middle where I tied the knot, and on the inside piece, doing the same thing. I'm coming out in the middle where I tied the knot. Oh, don't know if you can see that. Right. I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. Now, normally I would hide the ends, but I'm not going to. Just tuck it in. This is going to be full of stuffing and beads anyway. So I'm just going to grab some white yarn. We're going to make a drawstring around the outside. I like to do it beforehand. That way I can gauge, you know, how much I have it filled. So I like to pick up 2 stitches and then skip over one. Grab 2, skip over, grab 2, skip over. Okay. Now when you're pulling your yarn through, don't pull it all the way or you'll have to start over. Okay, so you just leave the tail hanging. Right, so I'm over to where the other end meets up. Okay, just going to straighten this out a bit. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of stuffing at the bottom first. Right. Okay, I'm just going to take some of these beads. Like I said, I want to put more this time so that it doesn't keep falling over. It's got a pretty big lighthouse hat, so we don't want him tipping over. Okay, so you know what? Basically, a little bit of stuffing, and then when you add the beads or the rice, the beans, whatever, probably going to about where the line is. Okay, that should do it. Just get rid of these. Now we're just going to continue stuffing the rest. Right, there we go. Now it's up to you. You can have him taller and leaner or stouter and chunkier, like this guy. This guy ended up being chunky. So basically, the way I designed it is so that the body is the base of the lighthouse. So when I sewed the arms on, I tacked them down here. Otherwise, it looked like it was flying. I mean, hey, it could be a flying lighthouse. That's okay. You'll see when we get to it what I mean. Well, I'm just going to add a little bit more stuffing. Okay. Let's see. I think that's good. And there. Again, I just gotta work with the, you know, the double layer with the red. Now you'll see here, this is where I changed colors. And the red yarn is kind of poking through. That's all right. We'll just kind of do that. We'll just slide it, just work it down, move it down where it should be, down into the red. There we go. All right. So we'll go ahead and close this off now. Tie it. Tie it nice and tight. So go ahead and hide the tail ends. All right. Okay. So just put this aside for right now. All right. So next I'm going to do the nose. Just going to pull out some of this cantaloupe color. I'm just going to do this off camera. Actually, I'll do the rest of the pieces off camera. I'll come back and I'll give you the counts for everything. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Now, I've made the nose. Actually, I've made all the pieces. And I'll just go over the row counts with you. There we go. Okay, so with this peach color, 10 rows. Okay, and I cast off. I cinched and tied both ends, right? So now what I'm going to do is double. I'm doubling my work, like so. So this end will go inside of this end. Okay, we're going to put this, take the yarn tail and put it through the center here. Bring it out the center on this side. This will be the inside. Right. Go ahead. I'm just going to hide these tails in here. Right. Yes, I had creativity block, so it took me a while. So I decided to teach myself how to do needle felting, and I fell in love with needle felting. So I don't know. I have two rotator cuff tears in both my shoulders, and everything I love doing involves the shoulders. Needle felting, just repeatedly stabbing sheep's wool with a needle, and circular knitting machine, cranking away. And also, I know I'm old, but about 5 years ago, I discovered the joy of archery. So, yes, everything I love doing kills my shoulders, but what are you going to do? I always want to learn. I never want to stop learning. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a drawstring. Just take another piece of this peach yarn, and the drawstring is going to be the same way you did it for this. All right. Okay, back over at the beginning. Now you'll see starting to form the nose. Just cut this down. Just cut it down a bit. Now you're going to take just a wee little bit of stuffing. Right. You don't need much at all. Just enough to puff this nose out. Okay. Just kind of hold the stuffing in the middle while you pull the drawstring closed. Go ahead, let's tie her tight. Don't worry if there's a little hole in the middle where your stuffing shows out or shows through. We're just going to be sewing this part against the gnome, so it'll be facing the inside. It's all good. So I hope you're enjoying the tutorial so far. If you are, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave me a comment. I love reading your comments. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified, whenever I upload new tutorials. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mattress stitch it. Okay, onto the face. Let's see. We're going to want this. All right. So I'm going to start sewing him just a little bit above, where the red stripe ends. Just going in like so. Just sew it on the best way you can. I mean, the beard's going to be going here, so don't worry if it doesn't look the best. I'll be covering it up with the beard. I never know where a project's going to take me when I'm, working on it. I was working on another project before this one, and let's just say it didn't go well. So that sketch is still sitting in my book, and someday I'll be able to get back to that design when I can figure out a better way to execute it. Sometimes I have these grandiose imaginations for projects, and they just don't work out. And that's okay. That's life. Learn and adapt. All right. So I'm back around to where I began. Now let's see. Just going to pull this. Just going to pull the nose, pull the ends here. There we go. I'm just going to tie this off now. And one thing to maybe try to remember is whenever you're hiding ends, for example, if it's darker than the white, which every color would be, you don't want to hide your tail ends in the white. You either want to hide them in the red or in the nose. And for this instance, I'm just going to go ahead and, let's see, I'm just going to hide it in the nose. Just going to go through here. Right. There we go. Just kind of put that aside. Now for the beard. For the beard, I use this white. Okay, so we did 40 rows, cast on, 40 rows, cast off. Now I cinched and tied off, or tied the ends. So what I'm going to do now is just double my work, put the one end into the other end. And you know how to do this now. You must be old pros at this by now. Okay, so we're just going in through the center, out through the center, whoops, over here. Let's go ahead and tie these off. Right. Let's see. Okay. We're going to be putting a little bit of stuffing in the beard, not much at all. So I'm not going to bother hiding the ends. I mean, the stuffing's white. Not much at all. You do not need much. So you're going to be stretching this sucker. See that? We're stretching it. Just see. Let's see. Kind of looks like Santa, doesn't he? Okay. What we're going to do, so we're just going to do just a basic whip stitch around here, just to close it off. Okay? And what I want to do is I'm just pulling it as I go along. Okay? Just going to go through right at the top here. Actually, we can go ahead and tie this end if we want. Okay, so you can just turn around and just hide the tail end inside. Right, so we're going to be pulling. So we're just going. Just kind of going through. Nothing fancy, nothing special, nothing cute. We're just getting the job done. All right. And then just keep stretching as you're going along. See, and I'm not doing like every single stitch. I'm just, you know, working my way along. All right. Just gonna go ahead and tie this off, this end. Alrighty, let's see. I think. So the way we're going to position the beard is it's going to cup underneath the nose. It's going to look like a nice big smile, okay? It's going up along here. So now you're just going to go ahead and with some white yarn, whoops, it's getting away on me. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and let's just sew the best way we can. Okay, we're just sewing the beard to the head. And then just keep checking, just reposition as you go along. And when we get close to the nose, I will show you. All right, so now that I'm kind of going along the edge of the nose here, I'm just going to be grabbing some of the nose. See that? Grab some of that, and then just continue along like so. And if you misjudge how to place it, don't worry about it. Just pull, just undo it and do her again if you want. It can be lopsided, that's okay. I'm having a lopsided kind of day. Oh boy. But it feels good to be creating again and, just coming up with some content. coming along nicely. So I hope I'm not making you dizzy here. Oh my, I'm making myself dizzy. Hey, hang on. Hang on, we got this. We got this. Okay. Okay. So I think I can go grab the last couple stitches here, and then I will be working in the white again. So let's see. Stand you up. Right. See that, my friends? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. We got this. We got this. Okay, hang on. Let's see. That's pretty good right about there. Now, there we go. Right. I think he's coming along nicely, but he does look like Santa. He really does. But you can also take this idea and use red glitter, and you have a nice Christmas lighthouse. I think that would be awesome too. Okay, I'm going to hide the ends. Right. There he goes. See, he stands up better than this guy did. This guy keels over. He's got more rocks in his head. Okay. Now, sorry, let me just flip my page over. Got my pattern here. So, for the arms, you're going to make 2 of these. You're going to cast on with the red. You're going to do 7 rows in red. Change over to the white. I'm not going to explain that to you. You're a pro in changing colors now. The white, we're going to do 10 rows, change back to the red, and 7. So 7, 10, 7. Right? So I have cinched, tied both ends. Now, I'm going to go ahead here. And we're just going to double our work. And you just want to be mindful of, just the white that would show, the red that might be showing through the white. Right, so let's go ahead and tie this off. I am actually going to hide the ends. Now I hang on to all of my yarn ends, the pieces that I clip off, and I use them to stuff future projects. I'm just not using the end pieces for this because there's so much white on here that I don't want the colored pieces to show through. But I'll use them on another project. I'm going to come in here, going to go between the layers. All right, now the next part, I'm going to take some white. I know white might seem like an odd choice. So what I did here is, you can see the white a bit, but we have to match a stitch over here to close the arm off. Okay, so we are just going to line this up nicely. Now, if you could see right here where it kind of bumps up or bumps down, depending which way you're going, that is where I did the color change. So I'm just going to flatten this down, and I want this on the inside. It's going to be hidden. Okay. Just going to thread the needle. All right, so we're just going to fold this over like this. Kind of fold it in half. Fold that over again, like so. Okay. And now, just going to do some mattress stitching along here. And you just want to make sure that you're following the same row. So I'm going to pick up a couple stitches from here. And the reason I chose the white is because I didn't want the red showing through, excuse me, the white. Okay, so I'm grabbing a couple of stitches here. Hang on, there we go. And I just kind of tuck this under here to get it out of the way. Right. Then we keep going, like so. Trying just to grab the top layer. So I hope that during the time I've been gone, or sorry, the time I have not been creating my patterns, I hope that you've been doing well and that life has been kind to you. I know, life can be difficult. I just hope you take some time out of your life, do some creating with me. The worst case scenario is you don't learn anything, you just sit here and laugh at my mistakes. That's okay too, it's all good. All right. Going that way. And see, this kind of goes this way, so still following that row to about there, to the end. Okay. So go ahead and let's pull this. It's going to need a little bit of finagling, but that's all right. See, so the white is sort of minimal. We could poke at it. But what I want to do now, I'm just going to take this over here and kind of put it through. I'm going to bring it out just to meet up over here with this piece. I'm going to tie it off. Right. So now I'm going to do, I'm just going to take one end here. Sort of tuck this out of the way. Just going to bring the needle over to the end, to the outer edge. So we're just kind of doing the same thing here. We're just going to be sewing across here. Right. I'm leaving this end so that I can use this to sew it onto the body. I don't know if that's the body. Well, the white part's going to be on the head. So I guess we're sewing it onto the head. So your goal here is just to close this off. Okay, let's go ahead, tie it off. Oh boy. Okay. So, before you take it off the needle, go ahead. Let's go hide this. Hide this in the white. Okay. So the part here where we have the seam, that's going to be facing downwards. So the underneath here. All right. So I've sewn on the one arm. Now I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to tack this one down yet. We'll see how it looks once we have the other arm on. Okay. So your underside here where the seam is, so that will be facing down. I was trying to do this in a hurry, so I didn't line this up very well. Just take your time when you're doing yours and line. Make sure that you line up your red and try to keep it as much out of the white as you can. Okay. So we're going to be, the goal here is to sort of line the white up and the red up as best you can. Let's say, is this half an inch maybe? A little over half inch from where the beard edge is. Okay, so this is going to be coming over here. Right, so see that? I'm just trying to line it up. And just going to sew it on. Just grabbing a couple of stitches. Oops. So we're sewing along the top like this, and then we'll be going underneath the arm. Our goal here is just to get this arm on. Oops. I'll pull that in. I'll work at that. I'll poke this little guy in. I was needle happy. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over and just continue sewing underneath. Oops, sorry. I have a tendency of hugging my work towards my body. And I just glanced up at the camera, and I saw that I was kind of out of frame. So hopefully you're able to see what I was doing. See, I'm out of practice. Wait till it comes time to edit this. I don't even know if I remember how to use the editing software. Okay, so come along back here. Go like so. Let's go ahead and tie it off. Okay. And yeah, see how sloppy that looks? You guys, yours isn't going to look that sloppy, is it? But I'm sure that if you poke at it for a while and move the yarn threads down, you'll be able to align that. But I'm not going to sit here and take the time to do that right now. Okay, so I like to try to get the knots under the armpit. Okay, go ahead, hide the tail ends inside the white. Let's go ahead and cut it off. Yeah, see? It looks like he's flying. Okay. We're going to pin his little wings down. Jesus. Now, when it was just the one, it kind of looked okay. But with the two of them, it looks like he's flapping his wings. All right. Get some red yarn. We're going to go underneath here. Just going to go towards the end here. See? Just go ahead underneath, grab a couple stitches. Okay. Now we're going to kind of flip over here. Just going to line it up here. We're going to grab, let's see here, where it lines up, just going to grab some over here. Okay. And that's it. That's all. Let's go tie this off. See there. Let's hide these ends. When I cut the yarn short, too short to fit on the needle, I just insert the needle most of the way, and then I'm able to get the yarn tail in there. See that? There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other end. So another thing that you may want to use for this project, is I just have this felt. So I'm just going to use black felt for these little windows. And I just attach them with my hot glue gun. But if you want, you can embroider little rectangles or little squares. I'll just show you how I cut that later. Okay, now the fun part, the hat. Now we cast on with the red, okay, 5 rows of red, change over to the white, 2 rows of white, change over to the yellow, let's do 5 rows of yellow, change over to the white, 2 more rows, over to the red, 10 rows of red, change to the white, 10 rows, go to the red here, 20 rows, go back to white, 10, back to the red, 10 rows, go to the white, 2 rows, yellow, 5, white, 2, and the last red, 5. Now I just matched the colors on both sides because we'll be doubling our work, and that way they'll line up. Now another thing that you could do, which is probably a lot faster, would be to only get up to here where you're at this 20 red, stop at 10, and then just do the rest in white, and then have the white part inside. That probably would have been a big time saver, but that's okay. So I've cinched both ends, tied them off. Now we're doubling our work. Right. And be mindful, more mindful than I apparently am, of lining up your colors. Straighten them out here. Right. Now, I'm just going to tie these together. Same as the other parts. Just kind of go through the middle here. And see, come out the middle on the inside. I'm just kind of feeling my way through. There we go. So what I'm going to do here is tie it. Now I wanted a pom-pom on the top. Now you could leave your lighthouse just like this. Okay. But I thought and put a pom-pom. This one's a white pom-pom. Or what about a yellow, like the light of the lighthouse? I'm not sure. I'll go with white. Okay, so when you're looking at your hat, you're going to be able to see there's one edge where we did all of our color changes. These color changes, you'll see, kind of like steps. Okay, that's going to be the back of the hat. So I am just going to insert the pom-pom. I'm not going to be going crazy with securing it. I'm just going to single tie it. Okay, this is a pom-pom that has a little elastic piece. Now you can certainly go ahead and make your pom-pom. There are a lot of tutorials out there on how to use a clover pom-pom maker to make pom-poms. And this is one of the rare times you'll actually see me use a crochet hook. That's when I'm trying to attach pom-poms. And I may have tied this too tight. That's all right. Okay, let's go ahead and grab the elastic part, feed that through. Without breaking my little Sentro crochet hook. Okay, so I'm just going to take one of these ends here, loop it through. I mean, mine's not going to be for a child to play with, so I'm just going to tie it the one time. But you can go ahead and loop through it a few times if you'd like. I'm leaving that with you. That's your call. Okay, let's go ahead. Hide these ends. Okay, so let's turn it around. Take a look at what we have here. Okay, it's lined up pretty well. So that's going to be the back. What we're going to do now is stuff. We're going to stuff our hat. Go ahead, we want it to be nicely stuffed. Try to keep it as straight as you can. Okay, and that's the back. You can see here I've got one of my tails over here from where I change colors. It's okay, just go ahead. Slide it. So try to slide them down. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. I think we'll put a little bit more in. I think like on this one here, I left it about the same thickness from top to bottom. I think this one, I'm going to want to try to make it a little thicker at the bottom, you know, like a lighthouse base would be. See how that works out for me. We'll see, let's go see, we'll see. Okay. Where's my, here we go. Right. Now you're going to take a piece of red yarn. Now if you wanted to, you could always go ahead and glue this with a hot glue gun. I am going to go the long way on this one. If you know me, I can get crazy, carried away with my glue gun. So let's just, there we go. So what we're going to want to do is going to go on the head like so. And remember how we kind of sewed the beard around the nose? We're going to do that with the hat. And then your hat is going to go down to where the arms start. Okay? And then around. All right, so I am just going to just bite the bullet, and I'm just going to start right over here. Right. And I sit on the tail end here. Okay. Yes, so just go ahead and sew it to the beard. When I did the other one, I sewed it just above the beard, and I think it might look better. It's going right to the beard. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so we're getting to the nose. So I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to sew along the nose. There we go. Right. Okay, so you see what I'm doing. Just going to keep going around like this. Going to be going, transitioning over to the top of the shoulder. And along here, and then around here, okay? And I will be back when I get to this side. All right, I made my way around here. Okay. Okay, so we just pull. Just go ahead and pull up these ends. Tie them off. I am going to hide these right along here. Look, you can tell I stretched. I was stretching as I was. There you go. See? Just take your needle and go from underneath, and then you can just move that red into position. Sorry, I just plugged in my hot glue gun and I pulled out this black felt. Now, I was going about a little over 1/2 inch. So 3/4 of an inch. So I just kind of measured and then just do the line. Always good to have a piece of chalk lying around. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this strip here. So we're going to need, just put this out of the way, we're going to be putting, let's see here, 1, 2, 3 of, oh, sorry, let me zoom out. There we go. We're going to be putting 1, 2, 3 windows. Okay. You know, just do the best you can with cutting these. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Maybe about that size. Now you can take your time and be more precise. Like I said, you can also embroider those on. Okay. Pair of tweezers. So I'm basically lining them up with the nose. Just kind of going that way. Sorry, that way. And then also get yourself some black yarn so that we can do the part of the lighthouse. You know, the grill, I guess it would be called, that would be going around the light. Yes, I jumped from one topic to another because I forgot to turn my glue gun on. It's one of those days. Okay, that's okay. So, actually getting a larger piece. So what I'm going to do is get a long piece of black yarn. Go ahead and double it. Okay. Just move this stuff out of the way. Right, so let me see here. Perhaps put one, go up this way. Let's see. Like that. I just use my needles here as stitch markers. Stitch holders? Stitch. Okay, let's see. We'll go maybe about like this. I'm just gauging. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Now you can be more precise than I am. I'm just needing to get this video completed. But you can't actually measure. Make sure that you get everything right. But I said I'm just eyeballing everything here. All right. We are almost done. Okay, so to embroider. So this is quite the handful. So you go in some other way here, and you decide where you want your needle to come out. So in this case here, I'm going to want it to come out here, where the yellow and the white meet. You're just going to guide that needle right in there. Okay, save yourself a piece of some yarn ends here. Now we're just going to go up to the same spot up here. Now, the trick to this is now we're guiding our needle to the next stitch. So we're always one stitch ahead here. Okay, so I'm going to want to go over here. There we are. It's right there. Okay. And as I'm pulling the yarn, just use my hands to guide it. Okay. Right. Now, come along here, go over here, and let's see. And you don't want to pull too tight or this will buckle on you. It'll pucker up. There we go. Okay, so, sorry, I'm just trying to keep this in frame. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. You just straighten it out. It looks crooked, but that's just because, see, it's a little wonky. You just pull. There we go. Over here a little bit. Now, coming down here, heading over. I'm going to head up here. Pull this out. There we go. Hey, so for the last entry point, we're going to, so I'm going down here, going in here, and we need to plan our exit. So we need to come out in the exact same hole that we went into here. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey, that's not bad at all. Right. Just going to cut this. Okay. So I'm going to tie these off. When you're tying, don't pull. Not too tight. And then going in the exact same hole, we're going to hide our tail ends. Okay. Usually when you're doing embroidering an eye or a nose, you wouldn't necessarily have it double thickness, so it would be a lot easier to thread your needle here, but that's okay. I like making my life difficult, I bet. I'm sure. And then as soon as we get this out, my glue gun's hot enough. There we go. Okay, just coming out somewhere else. Still, I'm holding here, so I'm not pulling too tight. Okay, there we go. Now, if you end up seeing a little bit of the black, in my case, it's gone. But you can always just poke it in. Now, same applies to here. Go ahead, we're going to cut this. There you go. You're going to have that little black piece. There we go. All right. Coming along. It's coming along. And now, ladies and gentlemen, my glue gun is hot enough. So I can go ahead and glue these windows on. And try not to disfigure myself while I'm at it. Let's see. Okay. Just going to a tiny bit. Okay. Just kind of lining it up with the nose. Looking good, looking good. Right, so go like this. Show some restraint with that glue. You get to pick the little glue cobwebs. There we go. And, oops, sorry, I've got all these strands all over. Just turning off my glue gun. There we go. The last piece. And there we are. Look at that. So how did yours turn out? There we go. How's that? There we go. Well, my friends, our journey has come to an end once again, and I hope that you enjoyed your time with me. And, well, hopefully it won't take me so long to get the next tutorial out. And until the next time, be well and take care.